Hello, my name is Dave Gillett. I'm over in Bendigo, Australia, as the children's pastor here, and I've been asked by Abraham to do a little devotion for you for your Daniel fast. I hope it's going well. I hope it's proving valuable for you, and the theme of restoration is helping you. And I send my best wishes to you, those of you who I know. I miss you, but it's great to be able to share with you in this way, and I hope it's helpful for you as you're leading up to Easter in this fast period. I've been asked to talk about restitution. Restitution is not a really common word for us so much, but actually it's got a very common meaning. It means to make amends or to pay back. And in relation to a change in our life or a change in circumstances, we try and make up for the wrong that we've done. And it's a common thing in the Bible. As we look at Numbers, for instance, chapter 5, we see that the Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, when a man or woman wrongs another in any way and so is unfaithful to the Lord, that person is guilty and must confess the sin he has committed. He must make full restitution for his wrong. Add 1/5 to it and give it all to the person he has wronged." And we read some more instructions through the Old Testament about restitution there. There's a sense in making up for the sin or the wrong that's been done. If you come into the New Testament, the word is not there at all, but it's a prominent theme in the New Testament. One of the places where you see it being worked out is in the story of Zacchaeus, Luke chapter 19 and verses 1 to 10. And we see that Zacchaeus he wasn't a very popular sort of guy. In fact, nobody in Jericho would have liked Zacchaeus. They would have been horrified to think that of all the inhabitants of the town, he would be the one who would be known to millions of people 2,000 years later. He's a man everybody despised. He's a tax collector, but he was a chief tax collector too. And not only did he take money on the side where he didn't need to, he would have been making more money from the people who were working for him as well. And everybody knew that he was making more from them than he should have been. And he didn't have a right to it. Everyone knew, though, too, that there was nothing that could be done about it. That is, until Jesus came to town. People knew that Jesus was coming. There was a big crowd. Zacchaeus was a small man, apparently, and so he climbed up a tree to get a look at Jesus. And to everyone's amazement, and probably Zacchaeus' amazement too, Jesus eyeballs him and says, "Oi, Zacchaeus, come down. I want to meet you and have dinner with you at your house." Zacchaeus probably nearly fell out of the tree with surprise and wondering what was going on here. And everybody else is thinking, "Oh no, not again," because Jesus has a bit of a history of catching up with what is perceived as the wrong sort of people in the Gospel of Luke especially. And here's another occasion, but wonderfully we read that Jesus has dinner with Zacchaeus, and as a result, salvation comes to that house. That's what Luke says to us. Salvation has come to this house, is the pronouncement that Jesus makes after dinner. And we see that repentance for Zacchaeus wasn't just a change of heart. He really made amends. His restoration involved making amends of a heap of money, and he does it in a big way. He doesn't just pay back what he'd taken, he gives out more. And Zacchaeus would have been substantially worse off in financial terms after that meeting with Jesus. But he doesn't care. He's found something more valuable. And as we read through the Gospels and as we see in our own life experience, that's one of the great things that we find is that faith in Jesus transforms people. They see the world and they see God differently after exercising faith. It doesn't mean that we as Christians are perfect. The church is not full of perfect people. It's full of forgiven people, admitting wrong, asking for forgiveness, trying to make restitution are a bit like rain on a dry land. I grew up on a farm in South Australia, and it's pretty dry out there. We barely got enough rain for cropping. And I remember there's lots of occasions when it's dry and dusty, a bit like here, and then the rain would come and the smell that came up out of the ground after that rain was great. I used to love the smell of dirt that had rain freshly on it. And it was something that that opened up the possibility of a fresh start for the ground, something that gave a chance for things to grow. And that is why Zacchaeus, coming out and making restitution the way he does, meets Jesus' commendation. It wasn't a requirement for his salvation, but it was an indication that something big had taken place, that there was a wrong that needed acknowledging and fixing, and Zacchaeus was doing something about that. His attitude and his resources combined to show that he recognised his wrong. And if anybody doubted whether Zacchaeus was for real, what he did with his money after that showed that he really was. You see, the Christian faith is the ultimate recovery moment, because what is recovered is relationship with God that allows recovery in other areas with other people to take place. And I want to commend that to your thoughts today as you ponder that. There is a sense in which restitution shows that the validity, the integrity of our repentance, the integrity of our salvation. It shows that something has happened on the inside. And as you ponder today in your reflection and your thinking, as you think towards Easter, I'd invite you to think about how your salvation, how your walk with God, how your renewal is evidenced by your restitution. Now, there are some areas we just can't make restitution for. There are some areas, things we can't make up for, and we leave them with God. God knows our hearts. There are some things we can fix though, and God's desire for us, I think, in this theme is to do what we can with the opportunities and the time He has given us to make restitution. Some might ask, can we make restitution to God for the wrongs that we've done to Him? Because ultimately our sin is against Him. Well, of course we can't. There is no way we can pay the debt that we owe. And Jesus has done it for us, so there's no point in us trying to pay it back. God asks for our hearts though, and we can give our hearts to Him. And as we give our hearts, we can do stuff with our hands, with our money, and with our resources too, and in other ways to make restitution for what we've done wrong. My prayer is that God will bless you as you seek to do this. My prayer is that as you come up to Easter, you'll be drawn closer to Him as you give your heart to Him and seek to make your life evidence of the change that's going on inside you. Pray that you'll have a blessed Easter and Jesus will be more lovely, more valuable to you than ever. Thank you for your time.